Welcome to Apalachicola Sponge Company here in downtown Apalachicola. My name is Jerry Garlick. I've been a sponge broker for 20 years now, and we're just down the road from the original sponge exchange building, which was built in 1831 to house sponges. It's a warehouse. There's a picture that's familiar to many who come to the town, taken in 1895 with sponges all out in the street. It's a nice old picture. And so back in the mid-1800s, the sponge industry was alive and well as the cotton, the oysters, or the lumber that was commercially harvested here. In about 1935, there was a blight in the Gulf, and that caused the sponge trade literally to stop. So during that time, the harvesting went further south, down along the west coast. A lot of the Greeks that lived here in Apalachicola moved down to Tarpon Springs. That became a very popular place for the sponge divers. Well, along about 2007, we did a feasibility study up here and some research on it, and found that we could commercially harvest the sponges again. And so that's when I started to buy wholesale and sell retail. And I sell to 40 or 50 different wholesale companies now, as well as one big one in New York, which in turn bags them up, bales them up, and sends them to Greece. The main varieties of sponges we have here in the Gulf of Mexico range from the vase sponge, and this type of sponge is good for ornamental use. Off over my left shoulder, there's a very nice specimen of a vase sponge. That's also called a grass sponge. In fact, you could probably use it for putting finger sponges in, which is another variety. And these are all sponges, they all soak up water. We also have what's more practical, a yellow sponge, which is a good exfoliator. It's also good for cleaning. I sell them to window washing companies up in Philadelphia. So that's the yellow sponge. And then we have the most luxuriant sponge for bathing, and that is the wool sponge. It's called a sea wool. And this sponge here, if taken care of properly, will last forever. The only thing they don't like is bleach. So what we do here is I buy them right from the boats. We process them and get them ready to put on the shelves, along with our soaps, our handmade soaps, which we dunk a sponge into. And it's a very nice combination. They make very nice gifts for people passing through, and it's a big part of the business. Now, the divers don't wear the hard hats anymore and the big suits. With the advent of the regulator, that's not necessary. And so we just wear the regulator, a weight belt, and carry a catch bag with us and walk the bottom. And when you find one type of sponge, you'll find a grove of the same type of sponges. And so we don't harvest anything under 5 inches. When we harvest them, we cut them off at the bottom, leave a couple inches there where the sponge will grow back. So it's a renewable resource. That's good for the sponge. It's also good for the sponge industry.